Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. Mwah. Out for our morning walk here. The message is, live your best life. It's great to get out in nature. And here in the Hamptons, it's funny. You wouldn't think there'd be so much nature here, but I'm just telling you what, I'm amazed at how much nature we see, aren't you?
It's just unbelievable. I expect it when we go to the ocean. We've been so fortunate at the ocean. We've seen so many dolphins, so many whales, and seal, sea lions, sharks.
Yeah.
We've seen so much beautiful nature at the ocean.
And what about all the osprey and the eagles? The osprey are
Yes.
incredible, going down, catching fish and coming out. It's really amazing to watch.
They hunt right there at the ocean. But where we're seeing so much is on our walk from our rental to the ocean. We've seen, last night we walked, we had to keep changing streets because there were so many tiny baby deer, and by tiny I mean days old, right, Jeffrey?
Yeah, that one was right up here, so I'm
Yes.
going to be happy not to see her there.
Right.
Or, you don't want to interfere with them, but she was by herself. The mom was probably close by, but we always get a little stressed out to see that. But
We do.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yes.
We know that they're close by because, as I said to Kiki, you don't see them, skinny on the side of the road. They grow up here. There's lots of deer.
Right. And one of the things, most of these, large homes have deer fence. So in this particular case, the baby was right here, and again, between the fence and the trees, and I am happy to see that the deer's not there. And we did see a grown deer, an adult deer, not far. I'm sure that was the mother, and she was probably waiting for us to pass by. We actually turned around when we saw her, walked back out this street, and walked down another street. However, on that street, we also saw a very tiny baby deer by herself looking for her mother. So, I'm really intrigued by the mother-child deer relationship. If anybody has information on that, I would just love to know, how long does the baby stay with the mother? Does the father stay as well? And what do they do at night? Because this was about 8 o'clock, before the sun had set, right?
Yeah.
But it was getting dark. I'd say it was dusk.
Yeah,
right?
they can fend for themselves fairly early, I believe. We're going to go through the list here, which is, we have a baby rabbit in the yard. That thing's tiny.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I did see it.
so
I did
little.
see a mother the other day,
Yes.
but that baby was around by itself.
Right.
It's like the size of not smaller than a guinea pig.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Yeah. So it's
Another great question. If any of you know the relationship between baby bunnies and their mothers, how long they stay with them, please post that down below, because I am so intrigued with that kind of information.
Yeah.
And maybe too, my heart drops when I see them alone, because I'm a mother, right? And anytime I see a baby, it doesn't matter if it's a human or an animal, I feel distress if they're alone.
There's
There's two
two
rabbits. So
yeah, beautiful.
know.
So it's being out in nature. I mean, it's incredible.
And here's a beautiful robin in front of us with the brightest red breast.
Yeah, it's so cool here. So, what else have we seen the last few days? That fox the other day. Check out the video on that fox. It was incredible. She came up and sat down looking at us. She had some prey in her mouth, so she didn't want to cross the street until we were out of the way. But it was amazing. She sat there. Check out the video. Beautiful.
Yeah, she was a little fox,
Yeah.
a young fox.
Yeah.
And actually, I initially pointed it out to Jeffrey because I thought it was a rabbit. The ears were just so big.
I know.
And almost see-through, like a rabbit's ears in the sunshine. So that video is definitely worth taking a quick look at.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. Look at these beautiful hedges and flowers. But as Kiki said, the one thing I don't like is all the deer fences. Because it is tough for the deer. And I know people are protecting their great plantings, and they spent lots of money on the landscape, and I get it. But it is kind of a shame when they get locked out and separated. But anyway, this is about being out in nature and all of the wildlife. So it is incredible here. It's more than I've ever thought. I mean, we see eagles on the beach all the time.
That just never ceases to amaze
yeah, bald
me.
eagles, right?
Yes, bald eagles. We actually saw a couple maybe 5 days ago, and if you saw that video, they were actually chasing Berkeley Moon. They were
Hunting.
hunting her is the appropriate word. They came back a second time, and we never leave her off leash. She's just a puppy, and she's still working on training. But what we were working on was, with the leash on, Jeffrey and I were separating a little bit and having her run back and forth. And
Right.
They saw that and then came back. It was maybe 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
But one of them came back.
Yeah, it came back. He came back 3 times. So,
yes.
Yeah, he was definitely coming to check out what's this little animal
Right.
running up and down my beach.
Right.
Yeah, so it was scary for us. We obviously scooped up Berkeley Moon, didn't let her leave our side.
Right.
But amazing to see these eagles. I mean, that's their environment.
They're
and
just majestic.
that's what they do, yeah.
Yes, and then we saw the osprey. Literally, I thought at first it was a dolphin because I didn't see the osprey dive. I just saw this huge splash in the water, so I naturally assumed that there was a dolphin or perhaps even a shark out there. And then out from the water comes this huge, beautiful osprey with fish.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's incredible just to see nature, and early in the morning is obviously the best time to really see everything, or at dusk.
Yeah.
Because that's when the animals are either coming out or getting ready to go nest. So you're going to see the most activity during those 2 times. And
well, it's a great time to take a walk too. I mean, we love it. First thing in the morning here, we have some meetings. We're trying to get the walk out of the way. And I don't want to say it like, it's a chore, because we absolutely love it.
Oh,
but get it done,
yeah.
Get it in before we have the meetings, and then we'll go out after dinner. So it's great if you're a couple to get out. You get a chance to chat, you get some exercise, and get out in nature. I mean, it's crazy. Well, I just wanted to say, I was thinking about it. We're leaving things off because there's so many things here, but those wild turkeys around here are incredible. The males put their tail out. There must be courting, but they do that to scare you away and also to court. I don't know. It's very interesting.
They prance around with their tail feathers all the way up, and then the females are around them. It's super fun and interesting just to watch nature. And again, like Jeffrey said, it's not that we want to get this out of the way, but I will say nothing feels better for me than when I get back from my walk, knowing that I've done something for myself and for my relationship.
Right.
And now, I've got that box checked, because it's so important to nurture your own self and your own soul, as well as the soul of those people that you love together. So, and again, if you have a dog, it's so important to give them these walks. We're carrying her right now just so that she can be in the video.
You're reading my mind. Someone's like, well, why don't you let the dog walk? Because she's funny. She stops, and I don't know, she's doing this thing where she stops and lays down, and we have to call her. I don't know if she's getting tired, if she wants to go to the side, but we're teaching her how to walk on a leash.
Yes, she's just learning all of these things. So as soon as this video is over, and she's 4.5 pounds, and we do, the morning walk is 3.5, 4 miles, and the same thing with the evening walk. That's a long walk for her, so she does take some little carry breaks in between.
Yeah,
I don't blame her.
Yeah. Well, anyway, get out there in nature, get out and get some exercise, either by yourself or with a loved one, friends, whatever. I think it's a great way to start your day and end your day, right?
100%. And make sure to look everywhere when you're outside, because nature is everywhere.
Yes.
Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from, I don't know what street we're on, but it's an absolutely gorgeous, look at the greenery, gorgeous street in East Hampton, New York.